All right, let's get into our hot topics. And it's a sad day for our kids as the Australian government turns its back on some of our most needy. In fact, Labor need to hang their head in shame. You see, there's a major revamp of Australia's disability support as the NDIS faces extraordinary cost pressures. The cost of the scheme is now $48.5 billion this financial year, with forecasts placing it at $52 billion next year. Now, this is more than defence spending, and it's expected to rise even further by the end of the decade if we continue on this course. So, to rein in runaway growth, once peaking at 22% annually, the Albanese government has announced a sweeping reform. Children with mild to moderate autism or developmental delays will be transitioned out of the NDIS and into a new program called Thriving Kids, set to roll out from mid 2026 to mid 2027. So the aim is to reduce the NDIS growth rate to a sustainable, what they call a sustainable 4 to 6% per year. That would get it down from the around 8% we're at now. And they're doing that by shifting early intervention responsibilities to mainstream services like schools, GPs, and community providers. So, disability reform experts, they're warning that while projected reforms could save billions, clarity is needed to ensure children are not left without suitable support during the transition. And that's the point. You know, I've been online, I've been watching the news services and trying to get across this. So this happened. Mark Butler gave an address at the National Press Club today and dropped this bombshell. Now, look, we know that there have been issues with the cost of the NDIS. Sure. I'm really concerned though. They say, well, we're spending more on NDIS than defence. I couldn't care about that. I don't care. And I know there's going to be a lot of commentators saying, oh, it's all a rort, like people using the NDIS and all that kind of stuff. I think it's all just crap. For the few routers that there are a lot of people who need this service. I'm really worried that we're now getting them to a system that is not even going to have, they haven't even designed it yet. What's it called? Thriving Kids, was it? I'm just trying to find it here. Thriving Kids, thank you. So it's called Thriving Kids, hasn't been designed, but part of what they're trying to do is get states on board to it. And the thing about this for kids on the spectrum is that they need help to be able to live a normal life, right? So the whole idea of the NDIS is about, yes, for people who are really who have big disabilities, just trying to get them through day to day. But for kids on the spectrum, what they try to do is teach them how to survive tomorrow and give them the learning skills and the day-to-day skills so that they don't become a burden on the welfare system going forward. It's actually a fantastic system. They get life skills. So what we're going to do here is say these kids, there are kids out there that are going to struggle in life. But instead of helping them, we're going to put them onto these programs that we're not putting as much money in. We're expecting the states to stump up some cash, and they're not going to get the same amount of support. They just possibly can't. We are going to be leaving kids behind. And if you're so worried about how much money we are spending on the NDIS, why don't we look at the causes of what's going on? Mark Butler acknowledged that people on the spectrum was going up. Why is that? Why is that happening? Is it because of what's in our foods, what's all around us? Our labeling laws in this country are a joke. So many things that we don't know are in our food slip through the system because they're grouped in with other things. There is so much wrong with the basics of what we do. We don't know what we're eating half the time. So let's start focusing on that. Instead of trying to shift people off because it's costing too money, let's look at solutions. I think this is a sad day for Labor. This is the party that's supposed to care about social issues and helping those who are less fortunate. But they are now making a distinction that even though you are on the spectrum, you are not as worthy of our support as other Australians. I think that's really, really sad. And it's angry. It would make me angry, but I'm more just really sad about it. These are kids that need help. And We're going to push them aside, and these services, which it lacks clarity, we don't know what levels of the spectrum. Is it level 1, 2, 3? We don't know what levels are going to go on, but it gets me. Instead of saying, recognizing there's a problem here, they say, oh, the problem's too big. We need to get people off the system. So instead of helping, we're raising the bar so that people don't pass the threshold to be able to get that NDIS funding. What the hell is that? How is that a solution? It's not a solution. It's just trying to sweep it under the carpet. The NDIS is a great system. I have no time for people that attack it. I really don't. The problem is the government didn't realise how big the issue was out there in suburbia. You and I did. We know people. There's people in our lives that rely on the NDIS. I think most of the people watching this would have people that are using the NDIS, and they're not rorting the system. They're not doing the wrong thing by it. They are getting genuine help. This announcement today is a sad day for our country. So while other people might be celebrating and going, about time the government did something, I won't be one of them. I'm just really sad about it. We are letting our kids down.
Fun, insightful interviews from a washed-up producer with nothing to lose. McKnight Tonight, McKnight Tonight, McKnight Tonight. It's good night from McKnight.